Good afternoon. Today I want to present my paper about adaptation of OBE system in teaching and learning process. The performance among lecturers in Department of Mechanical Engineering, Polytechnic, Kota. So I am the author of research paper, Ahmad Farudzi bin Azib, co-author Muhammad Sabri bin Hussein and Marzuki bin Abdul Rahman. We are from Department of Mechanical Engineering, Polytechnic, Kota, Malaysia. First of all, I want to show list outline that I want to present with consist introduction, background of study, objective, methodology, result, and analysis. Last one, conclusion. Introduction. Outcome-based education is a process that involves curriculum, restructuring, assessment, and even delivery in teaching and learning to produce higher achievement. OBE is more mastery than the normal learning process. It is pivotal to enable students to achieve and master the highest levels of learning. OBE focuses on the result of the implementation of a program offer. OBE focuses for more on the planning and outcomes that will be obtained by each student to each program follower. OBE approach we started around the late 17th century and was widely practiced in Western countries such as the United States, Australia, and the UK in the early 18th century and 19th century. This OBE system was finally introduced in Malaysia and began to become a major practice in the teaching and learning process in Malaysian institution of higher education. This OBE approach is aligned with the requirement proposed by the Ministry of Higher Education, local and international education accreditation agencies. OBE approach is also a requirement set by the Malaysian Qualification Framework, MQF, which is now under the supervision of the Malaysian Qualification Agency, MQA. In the process of implementation, the OBE system, each academic is required to have an educational objective program, or better known as PO. Background of study. OBE system. The implementation of the OBE system in all Polytechnic Malaysia was enforced around 2010 by the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia. In order to see and identify the performance of lecturer in Polytechnic in applying the OBE system for their learning and teaching process, continuous observation have been conducted to monitor them. Learning and teaching monitoring system accompanied by guideline for the implementation of monitoring has been introduced. As a result from the implementation of the lecturers monitoring, the part which had been recognized as the main flaws among Polytechnic lecturers in adapting the OBE approach. To adapting the OBE approach during the learning and teaching process can be identified and subsequently used to produce continuous quality improvement, CQI. The main objective is to measure and identify the performance of lecturers in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Kota Polytechnic in applying the OBE approach in their learning and teaching process. Methodology. This study used quantitative approach which aim to identify the performance of lecturers in adapting and applying the OBE system in their learning and teaching process. The data are quantitative data because the data analyzed in the study use percentage and mean score analysis. The research method conduct for the study is a descriptive research method. The study was conducted among 85 lecturers in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Kota Bharu Polytechnic. The assumption of study was that the monitoring officer who observed the lecturers during the learning and teaching process makes a reliable assessment and has a higher value of reliability. This study used special instruments to evaluate the level of effectiveness of OBE method in learning and teaching. Table 1 below show the fraction of sample size involved in this study at the Department of Mechanical Engineering, according to their respective program. There are Mechanical Engineering Program, BKM, Agriculture Mechanical Engineering Program, DPT, Automotive Mechanical Engineering Program, DAD, Mechatronic Engineering Program, DEM. Total 85 sample. The instrument used for the study was the learning and teaching monitoring instrument, in which this instrument is applied to observe officers in managing the level of OBE implementation among lecturers. This instrument has been divided into 5 domains. Domain 1, L&T planning. Domain 2, instructional. Domain 3, lecturer competency and professionalism. Domain 4, classroom management, theory practice. And Domain 5, PPSMTI, teaching in English. You can see in table 2, L&T is learning and teaching planning. Table 2 shows the domain and learning teaching. Table 2 shows the domain for learning and teaching monitoring instrument according to certain aspects as well as the value of scores given to each aspect based on the set description. Result analysis. The finding for the domain which had been analyzed through the instrument were divided into subdomains and smaller aspects to identify the factors that contributed to the domain score. The result was also described based on the cost review report. From the finding of the analysis table 3, it was found that the highest score was obtained in domain 1. Domain 1 is learning and teaching planning, which is 83.21%. 83.21%. Based on this finding, it is clear that the planning system for learning and teaching among lecturers in Department of Mechanical Engineering, Polytechnic Kota Bharu is at a very satisfactory level. This result also shows that Domain 5 PPSTMI obtained the lowest score of the entire domain, which is 76.8%. The result reflects that the level of English utilization practiced by the lecturers in the learning and teaching process is only to a moderate level. The score obtained for Domain 4, class management, theory practical, also record a relatively high value, which is 82.81%. This indicates that the lecturer in the Department of Mechanical Engineering Polytechnic have management to control the learning and teaching in the classroom, either during their theory or practical class. A satisfactory classroom control can increase student focus on the learning and teaching process and then ensure that lesson learning outcome LLO can be achieved. The result of low score in English empowerment among lecturers can affect the process of presenting information and knowledge to students. In some extent, it also can affect the planning for the learning system targeted by the lecturers to achieve the lesson learning outcome. Conclusion. Based on the result of the analysis obtained, there are some suggestions that can be done to improve the performance of lecturers in the Department of Mechanical Engineering Polytechnic Kota Bharu in their learning and teaching process. In order to further improve the English language proficiency process among lecturers in the Department of Mechanical Engineering Polytechnic Kota Bharu, a special workshop or course to strengthen the use of English in the learning and teaching system should be held. This course and workshop should not only aim to improve the English proficiency among the lecturers while teaching, but also to expose them to the importance of writing in English to help them to fulfill any paper assignments. The finding of the study show that the planning process for the learning and teaching of lecturers is at a satisfactory level, and this situation should be maintained by making updates on each planning record provided by these lecturers. The learning and teaching planning by the lecturers should also be constantly improved to ensure that their performance remains at a commendable level. Thank you for watching.